Alright, guys, it's Kaiser. Guess what? It's time. We have the first reviews coming out of Cannes about reviews of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The initial reactions coming off of the heels of the premiere. Now, before we get into this, I definitely want to make a very, very important observation here. So, there's not a single one of these reviews coming out of Cannes that is not going to probably sound extremely glowing of, the film. We're going to be parsing out little bits and pieces, little things that they say in between, and come on down the rabbit hole because I think that we finally now have a clear idea of just what is in store for Disney whenever this thing comes out. And I'm trying to put this together right now, get this information out as soon as I possibly can, because probably another 24 to 48 hours, this information is probably going to be hitting the wire too. I guarantee you right now, this show, I'm probably the first person to even be talking about this or covering it. And oh boy, we've got a lot to cover here. So buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
It's really mysterious.
Oh yeah. Here we go, folks. So, first Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny reactions are here. So, yeah, starting here with this tweet, Redemption. James Mangold redeems Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. A farewell to one of the greatest movie characters in cinema history. Action, laughs, charm, just everything that makes him great. Thanks Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge for the ride. Harrison Ford's last stand as Indiana Jones is a terrific thrill ride. Here's the total film review of Dial of Destiny. Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny review. Instant classic, Harrison Ford's career best, a rousing adventure that shows that this old man still has great libido. Not just any other indie film, it's one of the best movies ever, a fitting end to his journey while setting up what's next. That is the tricky part right there. That's the part I want to focus on, a fitting end to his journey while setting up what's next. Ooh, boy. Anywho, let's go ahead and continue on. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny review, pure hokum of the cheesiest hue. And this actual article from the Irish Times Culture, I did go ahead and actually read it. This is where we're going to go ahead and read this article. We're going to get into it because I think this is probably the most honesty I've seen, and if even a tenth of what is being said in this is true, it is going to be a bloodbath. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. At long last, I know what became of Mutt Williams. I can finally be at peace. Yeah, that's probably not a good sign. Yeah, I really liked Indiana Jones. Let's see. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. First things first, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was born to lead this franchise into the future. Oh, no. She's perfectly cast, and OMG Harrison Ford. It's about time he received his well-deserved Oscar, and why not for this beautiful performance? So we've already, in just a couple of quick little bits here, we've already spoiled the ending. Indiana Jones is going to probably end up dying in this movie because they're saying, everybody seems to be saying it's a send-off, that it's his final ride and it's over and done after this. But then saying that Phoebe Waller-Bridge was born to lead this franchise into the future. Folks, we've been saying this since day one, that Kathleen Kennedy's whole plan the entire time was for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to take up Indy's hat and whip and take over his life. Did they do it with the time travel thing? I don't think so. But this is already saying that she's going to be the new Indiana Jones, basically. We told you, Disney. We told you, don't do this. You didn't listen to us. Kennedy, we told you, don't do it. You do this, the fan backlash is going to be swift. It's going to be strong. It's going to be a whole lot more harsh than you could ever imagine. And this movie is going to define your legacy. I guarantee you, this movie, once the reviews are out, once the information is out there, oh boy, things are not going to go well. James Mangold has crafted a stunning action adventure that captures the spirit of Spielberg's films, but also adds additional layers to give Indy an emotional farewell that feels sincere and deserved. A blockbuster created with the utmost care. Really loved it. Okay, yep. Emotional farewell that feels sincere and deserved. Okay, yep. Sounds like they're killing him off. Sure sounds that way to me. Disney, we told you again. I'm telling you. We told you time and time again. Don't do this. Without respect, we reject. And guess what? You're going to disrespect Indy. You're going to disrespect the fans. You're going to reap what you sow. So let's get into this article. This is from the Irish Times, the culture section. I really want to parse this out because I think this goes a long way to explaining a lot of information. Cannes 2023, nobody with a brain in their heads will compare The Dial of Destiny favorably to the first three films. There's a sense throughout of a project struggling to stand beneath the weight of its history. Okay, let's pause for a second here, because I think we need to read this again. Nobody with a brain in their heads will compare The Dial of Destiny favorably to the first three films. There's a sense throughout of a project struggling to stand beneath the weight of its history. Scrapbooking is a terrible idea. It never works, and it makes the movie feel disjointed and confused about what it's trying to do. And we already knew that the writing on this was going to be subpar. It's not going to be the same as the originals. Again, Spielberg and Lucas wanted nothing to do with this project. That should have told you a lot right there. Because Indiana Jones, the first three movies, there were three creative minds behind those movies, and that was George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Harrison Ford. And the only person who was involved with Indy 5 was Harrison Ford. And even then, at that point, he's basically just cashing a check. He's not really invested. So they're giving this movie 3 out of 5 stars. Let's see, director James Mangold. Running time, 2 hours, 34 minutes. Let's put one worry to rest. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, premiering to much hoopla at Cannes, is the best film in the series for 15 years. It counts as a sort of compliment to say that James Mangold's film, until a gleefully absurd ending, plays like just another episode in a creaky, unpretentious romp. After all, the inspiration for Raiders of the Lost Ark was a cheapo film series that Lucas and Spielberg grew up with. Yes, that is correct. They did base it off of old adventure serials from the 1930s. And, hey, I think they did pretty good. The ill-considered Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull from 2008 tried too hard to satisfy the demands of 21st century event cinema. The new film is content to chug along for most of its duration. We have lived with worse. Those berating lack of in Crystal Skull will be appeased by a long opening sequence featuring young Indiana Jones and impressively de-aged Harrison Ford trying to wrestle the eponymous dial, a device that could hold the key to time travel. Okay, so by reading that, I'm assuming that they have ditched the time travel element from the movie, and they're just saying that this device could potentially hold the key to time travel. That's speculation on my part based on what's being said here, but I'm just saying, based on what I'm seeing there, that sounds plausible. We've heard that they're trying to dial back on the time travel element in the movie, so maybe that's a good sign. From Mads Mikkelsen's appropriately appalling Jürgen Voller, a quarter of a century later, man is landing on the moon when Dr. Voller, a once now a part of the U.S. space program, oh good, he was in Operation Paperclip. Sure, there we go, is plotting how to get Thingamagummy back and change history. Somewhere in here, Phoebe Waller-Bridge enters as Indy's incorrigible goddaughter, Helena, a genius and a crook. Of course, she's got to be a genius, because it's just apparently a requirement, you know? Just like the amazing Wonder Ray, the bestest ever. Never mind all that, the plot is hook'em of the cheesiest hue, but the screenwriters John Henry Butterworth and David Cope take scribe credits with Mangold. Known as know that hokum is the mulch in which the franchise germinates. Though utilizing far too much of the era's computer-generated imagery, Dial of Destiny is frustratingly old-fashioned throughout. Sorry, not frustrating. Dial of Destiny is fustily old-fashioned throughout. Okay. People get shot dead all over the place. Mikkelsen smokes an actual cigarette. Oh, for shame. What a shock. They even invite back Welshman John Rhys-Davies to reprise his role as a dubious, made-up, fez-wearing Egyptian. Because, whatever. Hey, Sallah was a good character. You wouldn't get that anywhere else in today's big-budget franchise cinema. It doesn't take long for Indiana Jones to be dragged back into the implausible pursuit. The horse ride through the streets and subways of New York City, actually Glasgow of all places, would be less fun if it were less absurd. Later, the chase moves to tuk-tuk taxis and Tangiers. Through it, all Ford wears is a contented look of a man who knows a body double will be ready if he has to do anything so strenuous as climb a stepladder. The filmmakers don't crack the problem of Jones's age. They don't really try. They just encourage him to punch with a gusto few men half his age could muster. He doesn't even get an, oh, I'm getting too old for this moment. Never mind that. Here comes another stupid chase through a computer-rendered version of an exotic location. As the film goes on, the focus is uninteresting puzzles becomes a bit tedious. Nobody cares about the missing piece of the thing that might open cracks in space-time continuum. By the time Waller-Bridge is tiptoeing over a rickety rope bridge in the subterranean cavern, we seem to have gone full circle and caught up with Indiana Jones' immediate descendant, Lara Croft. We shan't spoil what happens next, but you should find it preposterous. Remember that the first film ended with the Ark of the Covenant revealing its apocalyptic powers. We sometimes forget that the later films exist in the same universe. Nobody with a brain in their heads will compare Dial of Destiny favorably to the first three films. There is a sense throughout of a project struggling to stand beneath the weight of its history, but Mangold, director of Logan and 3:10 to Yuma, knows how to keep his foot on the pedal. The recreations of 1960s vistas are gorgeous. The agreeable cameos keep coming. Think of it as one of those halfway decent David Bowie albums from the 1990s. You like it well enough when it comes out, but a few years later, you again find yourself reaching for Aladdin Sane or Low, or Temple of Doom, or Last Crusade. So, yep. Ooh, boy. That does not sound promising at all. Okay, folks, that is all the information we have right now on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Oh, boy. That just does not bode well, okay? It really does not. folks, I wish we had better news, but sounds to me like Kathleen Kennedy decided to double down on everything that she wanted to get out of this movie. And you know what? Frankly, if that's the way she wants to go out, I say let her do it. Let her Thelma and Louise off the end of the cliff, you know, with the foot on the gas, if that's the way she wants to go out. But you know what? That's all I've got to say on the matter. Everybody, we told you it would happen. I've been saying that this is going to be the situation for a long time now. For my due diligence, please definitely go down there, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We will report on more as more information comes out, but this is just the first reports coming in off the ground at Cannes Film Festival. This movie releases into theaters on June 30th, so we've still got a month before, over a month before this movie hits the theater. And if these reviews have even a grain of truth to them, this is going to be an epic strength bomb. The like and proportions I don't think Disney has seen yet. I dare say, I think that this, especially with this information coming out right now from Cannes, has the potential, if this article is true, to be a worse and bigger flop than pretty much anything else that has been coming out of Disney this year. Disney is in deep shit. And you know what? I'm just going to be here reporting on things as they happen. So, folks, thank you for coming out. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. I will see you all later. Peace out. Oops, I hit the wrong button.